Okay, so in this session, guys, we'll be looking into web automation using API. Okay, so I hope probably after all these sessions, okay, after all these basic sessions, you would know what automation is, right? So automation is basically nothing but you are trying to do a task, okay, and when you complete the task, the output which you get, okay, it should have a better. You should be having a better output with minimal human inputs, okay, a task which you are able to accomplish with a good output result, but then with there should have been very minimal human input from it in that probably in that particular task or exercise that you're doing. Okay, that is what your automation means, right? So I will walk you through to all three steps. Okay, what is automation? You know that, and we look into what is web automation and what you can do, the applications that you can do with web automation, and also there are certain activities and tasks which you have already done. Okay, which is web automation that you may not know. I will just relate to you. And then the activities, okay, which you are going to do as the exercise in your UI part, the activities which you are going to use in that, I will just uh, follow it up for you. Okay, there are probably just 4 activities as such. I'll just put it forth for you and you can also look into it. Okay, so you now understand what is automation, right? So what is web automation? Okay, web automation is something different. Okay, here you are trying to extract or fetch data from either a web browser or a web application. Okay, and the output which is got from the data should be displayed here when you run the program. Okay, that should be your goal here. So these are some of the applications or the tasks, okay? These are the tiny tasks which you have been doing, okay? Filling out forms and fields, okay? Scraping content from a web page, okay? You've already done web scraping as exercise, so you would know how it works, and clicking buttons and elements, right? And this third one, that is extracting and transferring data between applications, that is what you are going to do now, okay? You're going to extract the data and the data will be transferred. Okay, you're going to work on it and the output will be displayed at the end of your program. Okay. And this is an application where this is based for like businesses or entrepreneurship. Okay, people who work on it like for importing contacts to a third party service using CRM system or like web based ERP systems for document managing, and also to test the user experience. Those who are handling online shops, online websites. Okay, to test the user experience, they all use web automation. Okay, so these are all the tiny tasks and big level probably when it is an entrepreneurship thing. Okay, those kind of applications are implemented using your web automation. Okay, and now what you are going to do is you're going to extract data and show the output using your Uipath. Okay, so these are the 4 activities which you are going to put inside your UiPath. The first one is you will install a package. Okay, you are going to install package, and next you're going to send a HTTP request to the web browser. Okay, to that website which you are trying to extract the data from, and then using deserialized JSON, that is your data will be converted from JSON to string and then to object, so that your message box can display the output for you. Okay, so these are the common activities which you are going to work with. Okay, I'll just show you how it works and I'll show you the working of it, and then we can start doing the exercise. Okay, so here the first thing that you're supposed to do here is click on to manage packages. Okay, and you have something here called UiPath, okay, web API activity. Okay, the first one, UiPath.web API.activity. Okay, you're going to install this. Okay, install this package. Only after this you can start working on web automation. Okay, I have already installed the package, so I would not have the need to do it again. So you will have to install the package, okay? And after installing it, what you are going to do is you are going to search for HTTP client, okay? Okay. this HTTP, you can drag and drop it here. Okay. You're going to drag and drop it here and you can click on configure. Okay. We will not be doing anything with import. Rather, you're going to click on configure. Okay. And you have a website. I have already pasted it here. So what we are trying to do is I'll just show what the website does for you. Okay. So we have this website is a website which, like displays random jokes for you. Okay. For every second, it's going to display a random joke. Okay. So when I reload it, you can see that there's a different joke. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to fetch the data from this website. Okay. And when I'm going to connect it with our UPI and run the program, it should be able to give this joke in a message box. Okay, the same way as the web browser runs. Okay, it is supposed to run for us in the message box as an output. Okay, so here you have something called, so how does this happen? We insert something called API here. Okay, this will help you to fetch the data for you. Okay, so what you're going to do is copy this. Okay, copy this, paste it here in the endpoint. Okay, it will obviously appear the same in your preview URL. Okay, and before you click OK, see, check if your accept response is JSON. Okay, because we need the JSON format. Okay, and see that your request method is get. If not, okay, try to check all the things which are checked here. Okay, check out the timeout. Okay, if everything is fine, some of the activities and tasks are supposed to be fine by default. Okay, if it is not the same in your Uipath, see that it is checked on. Okay, the timeout is right, the request method, accept response. Okay, see that all these terms are given the same way. Okay, after which you can click OK. And now what you are going to do is in your right side pane. Okay, see that in your right side pane too, your certificate verification is true, your timeout is 6,000, your accept format is JSON, your request method is get. Okay, check if all these are the same, your private is ticked on. And one thing what you're going to do here is, okay, you have something called response content. Okay, here what you are going to do is you are going to create a string. Okay, create a string because the data which we are going to get will be in JSON. So we are going to create a string, that is you can just give it as str API response, create a string, and here you are going to create an integer. Okay, in your response status. Okay, after creating this, okay, okay, if you've created all this, your work is done with your HTTP client. Okay, it's done. And now, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to search this activity called deserialize JSON and paste it here. Okay, and here after that you are going to add something called add your variable, which you have already created your string API response here. Okay, so after that, okay, do check if your type argument is mutant soft. Okay, check for once more if your JSON string is the same, your type argument is mutant soft, and this type argument is the one which will help you to convert your string to object. Okay, and this object here, you are going to create an object, you're going to create an object. First, what did you create? You created a string and then an integer. Okay, and now you're going to create an object so that the string can be stored as object. You're going to create one here, that is J object response, or any other name which you prefer. That's fine. Okay, so if you've created all this, it's done. Okay, and now your last work is message box. Okay, you're going to find your activity called message box, paste it here. Okay, and there's a command for this. Okay, this command I will be pasting it. Okay, probably in a notepad or something. I will share it to you in your GCR. All you have to do is copy this and paste it in your message box. Okay, so now I'll just explain to you the working. Okay, how this works and everything. Okay, so first we saw into what is API automation, right? So how it works and everything. And what happens here is, okay, like I told you, you're going to fetch data. right? All you're trying to do is fetch data and display it using your Uipath, okay? So what happens here in your UPI API automation here is, okay, you have a web browser, okay? What we're going to do is you are going to fetch the data from a specific website, okay? That is what that is your objective here. That is your objective here, okay? So what happens to this data? This data will be extracted from the website, okay? This is extracted from the website, and when your program is run, okay, it will be displayed here, okay? When your program is run, it will be displayed as output. So how are you going to do that? Okay, you had something called deserialized JSON, right? So that is where you created your string, okay, your string and your integer, and then later on you created an object. So what were you doing there? Okay, first you had something called HTTP request, right? So this request, what it will be doing for you is this will send a request to your website, okay? This will send a request to your website, after which the data will be extracted, okay? After which what happens here is the output which you're going to get, okay? The output which you're going to get will be in JSON format, okay? So what is a JSON format? JSON format is something which is in a key and a value, okay? It is a format where it has a key and a value. So nobody can read a key and a value in a clear format, okay? So after the data is fetched, okay, what we're trying to do is, now the data is fetched in a JSON format, which is in a key and a value. Now what you're supposed to do, you are supposed to store it somewhere, right? So to store it, that is where we create something called, in your response content, you are trying to create a string. You create a string, and you are trying to store your output here, okay? And after which what happens is, what you've done, you have already created a string, right? You have created a string. You have also created an integer. And the last one, you also created a object, right? So from your JSON format, it has been stored as string. And now the string has to be given in a form of an object so that you can display the output in the message box. Okay, so that is what happens here. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, the setup and punchline, these are the terms, okay, which will fetch the exact joke for you from the website. Okay, so using this command, as you run, it should be able to, if your argument and your objects have been created, then it will automatically fetch the joke for you from the website. Okay, so now all you have to do is save. Okay, save. So everything is clear, it's done. And now you can just run the program. Okay. So now you're able to see that there's a joke displayed here, right? Same as the website, the joke has been displayed here. So the thing is, for every second, the joke has to differ. Okay. So after you run the program once to check if it is working fine, you'll have to run it again. And if you're getting a different joke, it means it is fine. Okay. Your API has been automated, and the web browser, whatever the data you try to fetch from the web browser has been displayed here successfully. Okay. And another thing, what happens here is, You cannot try the same thing for all the websites. Okay, each website would have a different API URL. Okay, for this particular website, this was the API URL. Okay, so you are able to fetch the data, but for different websites, different API URLs are provided. Okay, so if you're trying to extract data for a different website, you should try to find out first what is the API URL for that particular website. Okay, so that is the basic fact for your web automation using any web browser or web applications. Okay.